and default arguments as well as the constructor. And what is the constructor? Can anyone tell me what is constructor?
Which is used to initialize the values of an object.
Yes, correct. It is used to initialize the values of an object. So we have types of constructors. So what are the types of constructors?
Default constructor, parameterized constructor, copy constructor.
Yes, good Ramya, good. So we have a default constructor, parameterized constructor and a copy constructor. Again, in default constructor we have types. So what are those? In default constructor
System
we have
defined,
two more
user
types.
defined.
What?
System defined, user defined.
Yes, good Ramya, very good. So we have a user defined and system defined constructor. That's Shreya Reddy, thank you. So system defined constructor and user defined constructor. So system defined constructor means if you are not writing any constructor in a particular program, by default compiler can write the particular code of a constructor of a class. So you are not going to write the constructor, but the compiler can write the constructor for the class. And what is the user defined constructor? Now we need to write the constructor in a program. So that is the user defined constructor. Now you can see this. So these are the types of constructors we have. So is my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So we have a types of constructor, default constructor, parameterized constructor, copy constructor. Again, under default constructor, we have two types, system defined default constructor and the user defined default constructor. So what is the default constructor actually? If you're not writing anything, suppose see here, we do not have any code in the program. Come to the system defined constructor. System can come when you're compiling the program, automatically the compiler writes the code. That is a system defined. And what is the user defined? We need to write the code in a program. Someone is sharing the screen. Please stop that. Now what is user defined? We need to write the code for the constructor in a program using classes. Now what is the syntax of constructor? What are the special characteristics of constructor?
Data name.
Yeah, what?
They should be declared in public
They
section.
should be declared
Yes.
in public.
Yeah, we should be declared the constructor in public. Why? What is the reason to declare the constructor in public? Can't we declare the constructor in private as well as the protected? Yes, this is the interview type of question. Can't we declare the constructor under private and protected access specifier? What is the reason behind to declare the constructor under public? Anyone? Why we have to declare the constructor in public section only? Why? What's the reason? I'll ask someone. Rule number 3, Sai Chendu. I think he left just now. Yes. 517 Sindhu.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me, ma. What is the reason to define the constructor under public? Can't we declare the constructor under private and protected?
When we create an object, it automatically calls the constructor.
Okay. So,
Private things are not accessed.
why private things are not okay? Private are not accessed. Why we have to declare the constructor under public? Even though you are declaring the functions under private, we can access those private member functions. If you are declaring the private data members and member functions, we can access those private member function and we can access the protected members also. But there is a different procedure to access those, isn't it? We can declare the data members and member functions under private also. But how to access that one? We have a separate procedure. Now, can't we declare the constructor under public, under private and protected? Yes. So, when you're creating the object, listen carefully. So, this is the answer when you're facing the interview type of question like this. So, when you're declaring the object, automatically the compiler calls the constructor. When you are creating the object, automatically the compiler calls the constructor. So if any function is called with the object, then that function must be declared under public only. If you are using some function using object, means that function should be declared under public only. So using object, we can call the public member function, but we cannot call the private and protected member function using object. Just remember that one. So using object, if you are calling anything, those are the public members. Whether it is a data member or member function, if you are calling those one using object, those data members and member function must be a public. Now, when you are creating the object, automatically the compiler calls. So when you are creating object means with the object you are calling the constructor. So why? Because what is the name of the constructor? What is the name of the constructor? No, what is the name of the constructor? Constructor name.
Class name.
Yeah, class. We have to take the constructor name as a class name. Class name and constructor name are same. So when you are creating the object, automatically the constructor will be called, means we are calling the constructor with the object only. Okay, so this is the implicit statement. So when you are creating the object, automatically the constructor will be called, means you have to declare the constructor under public section only. So suppose see here, so let us go to the programming part. Before that, so we have types of constructor: default constructor, parameterized constructor, copy constructor. And under default constructor, we have a system defined and user defined. So system defined means if you are not writing any constructor explicitly in the program, automatically the compilers write the code of the constructor. And come to user defined constructor, we are going to write the constructor in a program. Okay, now how to write that user defined constructor and how to write the system defined constructor already we discussed in the previous section. Now let us take one example. Why we have to declare under public. I want to take the Turbo C++. Then it will be easy to understand. I will trace out the program, then you can easily understand where it is going when you are creating the object. The controller goes to which statement. Now it's taking some time. Please maintain the notes now. I will ask the notes. Okay, now I'm taking some new file. Now I want to write the code for here. Is my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please note the program also. If you have any difficulty, please maintain the notes for the C++. Maintain the notes for the C++. It is a programming part. You need to understand the concept and you need to write the program also. Okay. Now I'm taking the class here. Class. Yeah.
Somebody
For somebody
want to
somebody's
join
are
the
not
class?
able to see the screen, it seems, ma'am.
they are unable to see your screen, ma'am.
Wait a minute. In that case, I think they are clicking somewhere. Now, is my screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Agree?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay,
No,
okay.
ma'am.
I will try to
Yes, ma'am.
share one. Okay, okay. Let's
Now it's visible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Now it's visible.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Now we'll see the programming part. Yeah. Now, I'm taking the class, and my class name is simply I'm taking some examples. Example. Okay. Now I'm declaring some data member under private. I'm not declaring any access specifier, means default that data member acts like a private. I'm taking only one data member for easy understanding purpose. Now I'm taking the public access specifier. Now under public, I'm taking one constructor. What is the constructor name? It should be a class name, isn't it? So we have to take the constructor name as a class name. So what is the class name? Example. So I am taking the class name, that is the constructor name. Now I'm not going to. Okay, let us take the initialization of this one. I'm taking that a equal to some 10 value. I'm assigning some value to the a data member using constructor. So that is the use of the constructor now. So using constructor, we can initialize the values to your initialize the values of data members of an object. Now let us take this one. Now display the value also. I want to display the a value. A value. I'm going to close the class. Now I want to write the main function. And in main function, I want to create the object. What is the syntax to create the object? Class name followed with the object name. So what is the class name? Example. And I'm creating the object obj. Now I want to call the display function. So we have two functions in the class. So what are the two functions? Example and display function. But example is constructor. This example is the constructor. And this is the normal member function. So this is a member function. Yes. So what type of constructor it is? Can you tell me what type of constructor it is?
Default.
What type of, yeah, default constructor, and it is a user defined default constructor. Why? Because I'm writing the constructor here and I have a code in the constructor also. So this is a user defined default constructor. User defined default constructor. User defined default constructor. Now I'm creating the object here in main function. Example obj. Then I want to call the display function. How to call the member function? What is the syntax to call the member function?
Object
What? Vanilla, tell me. What is the syntax to call the member function?
object dot display.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, good, Vanilla. Object dot obj dot display function. Display function. Okay. Now I want to clear the previous output also. So I want to make the statement as CLR SCR clear screen, and I want to use the getCH function. simply get ch. Okay. Then if you are using the CLR SCR, you need to include the header file hash include. What is the header file for CLR SCR? What is the header file for CLR SCR clear screen?
H.
Yes, Conio. Yes, good Tarun and Bharadwaj Soumyasri. Conio.h. Conio.h. Okay. Now let's compile this one. I'm going to compile so we don't have any errors. Now let's run this program. What is my output is visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what is the value of
Yes, ma'am.
what is the value of A here we are printing?
10.
10. Yes. So value of A is 10. Some members are waiting to join class. So it is auto admit easily they can join in the class. So once log out and rejoin again. Try one more time. Vaishnavi Marupaka. What ma? No ma'am. Is my output screen is not visible to you? So I'll take the /n. In that case, you can see my output. /n, some /n's. Yeah. Now I'm going to compile the program. I'm going to run the program. Now you can see the output. What is the value of A?
10.
10, ma'am.
Yeah, A value is 10. Now I'm going to press the F7. What is F7 functional key? When you're pressing F7, what happened?
Run.
No, F7, functional key F7. Key in a keyboard we have a functional keys F1, F2, F3 like that. So when you're pressing the F7 in a Turbo C++ editor compiler, so it is going to trace the program. Means how the program will be executed. First, which statement will be executed. Second, which statement will be executed. So like that, you can see the execution of the compiler, program. Now I'm going to press the F7 key here. Now the execution starts from where?
Void main.
Yeah, main function. Always in any programming language, the execution starts from the main function itself. So it is going to the main function. Again, I'm pressing the F7. Now where it is going? Clear screen. So if you have any previous program output in a output screen, so it is going to clear by the CLR SCR, clear screen. Then again I'm pressing the F7. So where it is going? Creation of object, that is example obj. Now the example obj statement will be executed. Now after example obj, again I'm pressing the F7. Now see the control. So where it is going? Yes.
User defined.
No. Yes. So when you are after pressing the F7, after executing the example obj, when I'm pressing the F7, it is going to the constructor. After example obj, actually we have a display function, obj.display function statement. But after executing the example obj, it is not executing the obj.display function. It is going to the example constructor in a class. Why? Because when you are creating the object, this statement, example obj, automatically the compiler calls the constructor. Is this clear, everyone now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So when you are creating the object, automatically you may have number of statements after the creation of object, but after execution of this particular statement, creation of object, automatically the compiler calls the constructor function. Now again I'm pressing the F7. Now the statement A equal to 10 statement will be executed. So it is going into the example constructor. So it will execute the A equal to 10 statement. That means we are assigning the 10 value to the data member A. Again I am pressing the F7. Now it is closing the constructor. Now after executing this constructor, again the controller comes back to the main function. Why? Because I am calling the example constructor from main function. I think you may all are aware of that, how to execute the functions, normal functions in C program. So when you are calling some function, it is going to the function definition. After execution of the function definition, again it is come back to the main function, isn't it? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? So when you are executing the function definition, after executing the function definition, again the control comes back to your from where you are calling the function. So again the control comes back to the particular function. So that is the execution of the function. Now after completion of this example constructor execution, again I am pressing the F7. Now it is going to the main function. Now in main function, now which statement will be executed now? Obj dot display function. Now it is going to execute the obj dot display function. Now I'm calling the statement that obj dot display function. So when you are calling the display function with the object, it is going to the display function now. Now again I'm pressing the F7. Now the control is going to the display function definition. Now see there. So it is going to the function definition. Now here the display statements will be executed. So it is going to the display function statement. So see out slash and number of slashes are there. A value. So that is going to print it on the monitor. Now you can see this one. So after when you are executing the display function, that is a cout statement. If you have a cout statement, so these number of built-in functions will be executed. So these are the built-in functions. Now the display function is closed with the braces. Now again after executing the display function, again it is come back to the main function. Why? Because I am calling the display function from main function. So it is going to the display function definition, execute that particular function definition, again come back to the main function. Now after obj or display function, now what is the next statement? Get ch. So using this, I'm going to get the output of the particular program. Again, I'm pressing the F7. Now you can see the output there. A value 10. Okay. So like this, we can trace out the program. So when you are creating the object, automatically, so this statement, when you are creating the object, after that one, immediately the constructor will be executed. Means the compiler calls the constructor, then constructor will be executed. So after execution of this example function, again it is come back to the main function. And after come back to the main function, remaining statements will be executed. So what is the next statement after creation of object? Obj.display function. So when you are calling this function, it is going to the particular function definition. Suppose I am calling the obj.read. So it is going to the read function definition. So here I don't have any read function. Suppose if you are calling the obj.read, it is going to the read function in the class. It will execute the read function definition. Again, it is come back to the main function and remaining statements will be executed. So this is the constructor use. So when you are creating the object, automatically the constructor will be called. And this is the user-defined default constructor. So the user-defined default constructor may or may not consist of statements in the constructor. You may or may not take the statements in the constructor, but if you are writing the constructor in a program, that is a user-defined constructor. That's it. Is this clear? What is user-defined default constructor?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So remaining people, I want the reply from all the people, please. I want to know whether you are understanding the concepts or not. At least you need to tell yes, madam, no, madam. Instead of telling the answers, total answers, at least I want the answer yes or no, whether you are understanding or not. Okay, okay. Thank you, Pavani. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Satvik. So this is the user-defined default constructor. Now shall we go to the parameterized constructor? Okay. So what is the next type of constructor? Parameterized constructor. So how can we execute the parameterized constructor? So what is parameterized constructor? Parameterized constructor means we need to take the parameters in a constructor. So we have types of functions also in C language. So with parameters, without parameters, with return type, without return type. But come to the constructor, we do not have any return type for the constructor. And we are not going to return the result to the any other functions also. So we do not have any return type, and we are not going to return any result to the other functions also. And now we have a parameters for the constructor. Now how to take the parameters? Now I'm just modifying this programming only. So listen and observe carefully. Same program. At the creation of object statement here, at the creation of object statement, I'm taking the parameters. So how to pass the parameters to the constructor? Suppose if I want to pass the parameters some function, suppose I'm taking the some read function, read here. So I'm passing the parameters here. That is some 2, 3 values. Okay. So when you are taking the obj.read of 2, 3, I need to take the read function definition in the class also. Now I'm taking the read function definition in class. I want to take the read function. Now, what are the statements in the read function? So here we are passing the parameters 2, 3. Means you need to take the formal parameters at the read function definition. And what are the values you are passing here? Integers. You are passing integers. So I am taking only one data member now in a class. So I am taking only one data member. So that means, okay, I am going to take one more, B also. I am declaring two data members here, A and B. Now come to the read function. I am calling the read function with the 2, 3 parameters, and the type of parameters are here integer type. So 2 and 3 are the actual parameter values, and I want to store these values into the formal parameters. So I am taking the statement here int some x int y. Now tell me, what is the value of x here? What is the value of x?
10.
Yeah, somebody says, Madam, can you check once they are unable to join? I don't know what's happening. First, I want to save this program. Constructor name. Okay. What happened now? No, they are joining. Okay. Can I start the class? Okay. Okay, Shreya, ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, come to the, programming part. That's why I'm telling that please come to the class in a time. Now see here. So I'm taking the two data members A and B. Now I'm calling the read function and display function in a main function obj.read, and I'm passing the parameters here 2, 3, and the type of parameters 2, 3 is integer. So I want to store this into the formal parameters int x and y. So what is the value of x here? 2. What is the value of y? 3. Okay?
3.
Yes. So I want to assign these formal parameters to the data members. So what are my data members in a program? I am taking here A and B. So I want to assign these x and y values to the data members AB. So how to write the statement? Now listen carefully. So data member is A equal to formal parameter is x. Means the x value will be assigned to data member A. Okay. So like that, data member B equal to parameter y. Means the y value will be assigned to data member b. Is this clear? Two statements. What is a equal to x and b equal to y? So we are assigning x value to the data member a, and we are assigning y value to the data member b. So what is the difference between a, b and xy here? What is a? Yes.
A comma B is the integers, ma'am.
Okay.
X comma Y variables.
What both are integers only. A, B also integers, x and y also integers. But what is the difference here?
A comma B are data members and in X comma in Y are parameter data members.
Your voice is breaking, Vanilla. Of course, you are telling that yes, exactly correct. Good. So A and B are data members. A and B are data members. Why? Because I am declaring these under class. So in a class, if you are declaring the variables in a class, that the variables are called as the data members. Now come to this x and y. These are the formal parameters. These are the parameters and these are the variables, not the data members. So these are the variables. So I'm taking the variables and I want to assign the variable values to the data members A and B here. So that is the meaning of the statement here. A equal to x, B equal to y. Okay, by passing the values, I want to assign the values to your data members. By using parameterized function, I want to assign the values to your data members A and B here. Okay, is this clear, everyone? Yes. So,
Yes.
so I'm assigning A equal to x and B equal to y. So meanwhile, just I want to make this as a comment line. So it is not this one, okay? Or else simply I will remove this one. It will be easy. Yeah. Now I have only one read function and display function, and I am passing the parameters with the read function 2, 3, and I am calling the display function. So now tell me what the values are going to displayed on monitor. What values will be displayed on monitor?
A2, B3.
Yeah, A is 2, B is 3. Now let's compile this one first. S. So A value 2 and B value is 3. 2 space 3 values will be displayed. Now, without using this read function, I don't want to use the user-defined functions. So read and display, all these are user-defined functions. I don't want to use the user-defined function. I want to use the built-in function. What is a built-in function to assign the values? Constructor. Using constructor, you can assign the values like this. Void read. In void read, we have take the statement like A equal to x, B equal to y. Like that, I want to use the built-in function. Now, how to write that one? Now see here. I'm just modifying this read function. Simply, I want to delete the return type of a function. Why? Because if you are taking the constructor, we do not have any return type of a constructor. So even void also. Now, what is my constructor name? Instead of read function, we have to take the constructor name. What is the type? What is the name of the constructor? What is the name of the constructor? Example. S. Bharadwaj, example. Why? Because example is a class name. So if you want to take the constructor name must be a class name. So what is the class name we have taken here? So that is a example. So I want to take the constructor name as example. Okay, I want to take the constructor name as a example. Now, same parameters, you can take the parameters as it is, int x and int y. And I'm assigning the values here, a equal to x, b equal to y. So, the body of the function is same and the parameters also same. But I'm taking the function name as constructor, that is the example. So, why I'm taking the constructor name as example? Is this clear, everyone? Why? Because class name is example. So what you are taking the class name and that must be a constructor name. So example int x into y, and we are assigning the values here, a equal to x, b equal to y here. Now instead of calling the read function here in the main function, now I do not have any read function here. I have a constructor here. So I want to take the constructor name. What is the constructor name? Example. So if you are taking the constructor, there is no special syntax to call the constructor explicitly. When you are creating the object, automatically the constructor will be called. Now see here, if you want to pass the parameters to the read function, so what is the statement here? Obj.read in brackets, you need to pass the parameters. But I do not have read function here. I have an example. Now, how to pass the parameters to this particular constructor? So here, in beside of object, I need to pass the parameters 2, 3. Beside object, in a parenthesis, we need to pass the parameters 2, 3. Why? Because when you are creating the object, constructor will be called. Means with object, I need to pass the parameters. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you are creating the object, the constructor will be called. Means with object only you need to pass the parameters. So obj and within the parenthesis you need to pass the parameters 2, 3. So now I want to delete this read function statement here. Yes. Yeah. Now I am taking the A and B values. Now see here. I am going to compile the program once again. Okay, listen carefully and observe the statements, how the statements will be executed when you are tracing the program. Now see here, I am going to press the F7. So it is going to the main function. So the execution starts from main function. Then again it is going to CLI SCRs, that is clear the screen, previous output. If you have any previous program output, so that will be cleared with the statement CLI SCR. And next, example obj. So what is the statement here? Example obj means creation of object. And beside object with the parameter, with the parenthesis, I am going to pass the values 2, 3. Now I want to press the F7. Now tell me, if I am pressing the F7, the control goes to which statement?
Example.
The control goes to which statement? If I am pressing F7 now? Can anyone tell me?
Main function.
Main function? No.
Constructor.
Yeah, constructor. S. Bharadwaj, Soumya Sri, Seelam also, Tarun also, Ramya also. So when you are pressing F7, so after creation of object, automatically it is going to the constructor definition. Now I'm pressing F7, it is going to the constructor definition. Now you can see this one. So it is going to the constructor definition. So what you are passing in with the object here, 2, 3 values. And those values will be copied into the parameters of this particular constructor. So x value is 2 and y value is 3 here. Okay. Now we are assigning those x and y values to the actual data members AB. So that is A equal to x means A value now 2. B equal to y means what is the B value here? 3. Now again I am pressing the F7. Now these statements will be executed now. So that is A equal to x and B equal to y statement will be executed. Now after execution of this particular constructor, again the control comes back to the main function. Why? Because I am calling the example constructor with the object from the main function. So it is going to the main function. Now after executing the constructor definition, now what is the next statement in the main function? I am calling the display function definition with the object obj or display function. So it is going to the display function definition. Now these statements will be executed. So AB values, so it is going to bring the AB values onto the monitor, and we have a built-in some functions for the cout statement if you want to print the value. So those statements will be executed. Now you can see here. So in Turbo C3, we have a include session, include files, iostream.h. So what is the iostream.h consists of cout and scene object now. So those statements, when you are taking the cout statement or scene statement, so these iostream header file statements will be executed. Okay. Now I'm pressing F7 again. So now you can see that one. You can see this operator less than, this statement will be executed. So then again, now it is going to return that one. So like that, the function will be, statement will be executed. Now again I'm pressing the F7. Now it is come back to the main function. Why? Because I'm calling the display function from the main function. So it is going to the main function. Now what is the next statement after obj or display function? Get ch statement will be executed. Now you can see the output on the screen. A and B values 2 and 3. Now is this clear? What is the parameterized constructor? So we are passing the parameters, but how to pass the parameters to the constructor? With object obj, and within the parenthesis you need to pass the parameters. So then how to take the function, constructor definition? Like this: class name as a constructor name, and within the parenthesis you need to take the formal parameters, and you can assign the formal parameters to the actual data members A and B. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what is the implicit statement of example obj of 2, 3? Now you can see here, I'll write the code here. Example obj equal to, now like this. You can see the statement like this. So when you are reading example obj, so it is going to take the statement like this. Is going to take the statement obj equal to, we are passing the parameters obj of 2, 3. Why? Because what is my constructor name? Class name. So like this, obj dot example. Like this, the statement will be taken obj dot example, and the parameters 2, 3 values will be passed. Okay. So example obj means when you are creating the object, automatically the constructor will be called. So if you are taking the parameters like this 2, 3, so what is the meaning of this statement here? So you are passing the parameters to the constructor like this. So this is the statement equal this one. When you are taking the example obj 2, 3, so this statement is equal to obj dot, I'm calling the example constructor function, and I'm passing the parameters here 2, 3. So when you are creating the statement like this, automatically the compiler converts this statement into the particular statement, and automatically this particular constructor definition will be executed. Okay, now is this clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good. Now we'll go to the next type of constructor. What is the next type of constructor?
Copy construct.
Yeah, third type of constructor is copy constructor. Now I'm going to make the changes in this particular same program. Now copy constructor, simply I'm taking only one value, then it will be easy for you to understand the concept. I'm taking only one data member. So I'm taking this one. I'm going to delete this, and I want to print the only one value, that is a value only. So I want to delete this one, a value. I want to print this only a value. Then, so what is the copy constructor? Before hash include, just I'm writing the statement copy constructor. For easy understanding purpose, what you are going to write the program in this editor. So just you need to write that at the first statement. It is a documentation purpose. Copy constructor. Okay. Now I'm going to write the program for the copy constructor. Now once see the main function. First observe the main function. Okay. Once see the main function here. So I'm creating the object for the class example. And I'm passing the parameter here, or simply I'm taking the statement like this. I'm not taking any parameterized constructor. but I want to assign the values using user-defined constructor. So this is a user-defined constructor, isn't it? It is a user-defined constructor. Yes. Now I am creating the object. So when you are creating the object, automatically the constructor function definition will be executed, and the 10 value will be assigned to your data member A here. Now you can print that value also. Now I want to take one more object. I want to take the one more object. So in a next statement, I want to create one more example. This I am taking the two objects. So this is the obj1. Now I want to create one more object, that is the obj2. Now I'm creating the two objects obj1, obj2. So what is obj1 and obj2 consist of? Data members and member functions of a class. What are the data members here? Int A. Okay, int A, and display function and constructors. So each and every object consists of data members, member functions in an object. Now obj1 consists of data member A and constructor and display function. obj2 also consists of data members and all the data members and member functions of a class. Each and every object consists of what the class consists of. Whatever the class consists of data members and member functions, and that can be included in the objects here. So obj1 also consists of data members and member functions. obj2 also consists of data members and member functions of a class. Now I am creating the obj1. So it is going to execute the constructor example 10. Now I want to copy this 10 value. What is the obj1 consist of? Data member A, and what is the value of A there? 10.
10.
Okay. Yes. So when you are creating the obj2 also, now what value will be displayed when you are creating the obj2?
10.
Again, yeah. So I'm going to write one more statement here. obj2 dot display function. Okay. Now try to compile this one once. Now try to run the program. Now see here. We are getting the two outputs, A value is 10 and A value is 10. Why? Because I am creating the two objects, and with the two objects I am calling the display function. So we are taking the obj1, constructor will be executed, value is 10, and obj2 value is again 10. And when you are calling the obj1 dot display, value
Ma'am, when we take objects 2 means we have to take displays also 2, ma'am. Display function also.
yes, when you are taking the, suppose, see here in this program, object 1, object 2 consists of same value 10. So in some other program, object 1 consists of some value, different values. Data members are same, A and display function, but the values will be different. So object 1 consists of 10 and object 2 may consist of other than 10 also. Isn't it?
Yes,
Yes or
ma'am.
no? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, I will clear your doubt here. I will clear your doubt. Let us take the example. I am taking the read function. Suppose I am taking the read function. Read function here. Okay. I am taking the. I want to read the values. Cout. Enter values. I want to clear your doubt. So I am taking the program. So, read the values, and using cin I can read the value A. Okay, and I'm closing this one. Now see here, I'm creating the two objects here. I want to call the read function now. So obj dot read, I mean obj1 dot read, or else I want to pass the parameter here to obj2 dot read. Now I'm taking the parameter here, read hint x. So instead of reading the value, I want to assign the values here. That is, I want to take the A equal to x. I'm going to remove this particular constructor. Now see this one now. I think who asked the doubt?
Me.
Mohammed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See here. So I'm taking the data member A And I'm taking the read function and display function. And using read function, I'm taking the parameter here for the read function, and that value will be assigned to data member A here. And I'm using display function and display the value. Now in the main function, I'm creating the two objects. I'm creating the two objects here, obj1, obj2. And I'm calling the read function with the obj1 and obj2. Now listen, observe carefully these two. obj1 dot read, and I'm passing the parameter 2. Now what is the obj1 data member A consists of? What is the value here? 2. So suppose if I'm tracing the program, now you can see this one. So when you are taking the, I'm going to trace out the program. So obj1 dot read of 2. So when you are taking this obj1 of read of 2, it is going to the function definition read. And what is the value of x there? Mohammed, what is the value of x?
2a.
Yeah, so 2 value is 2, and that value will be assigned to data member A here. So what is the value of A there?
2.
Yeah. Now after execution of this one, again it is come back to the main function. Now what is the next statement after that one? We have one more read function with different object, obj2, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, obj2 dot read of, I'm passing the one more value. What is the value now here? It is 3 now.
3 is assigned to a.
Yeah, so obj2 dot read of 3, and this 3 value will be passed to parameter x, and that value will be assigned to data member A. So in previous obj1 a value, what is the a value in obj1?
2.
Now I'm calling the read function with obj2. Now what is the obj2 a data member value now?
A.
What is the obj2 data member A value?
10.
See this one. I am calling the obj2 dot read of 3. So what is the value of a parameter here? 3. And that value will be assigned to former parameter s, and that value will be assigned to data member A here. And I am calling the read function with which object? obj2. So in obj2, the value 3 will be stored, and the data member A value is here 3. So let us take one, wait a minute. I will clear your doubt with the diagram. Yeah, wait a minute. Now, are you seeing my screen now? Notepad? In a mobile, I'm
Yes,
going
ma'am.
to show. Yeah. Now see here. You can see I'm creating the object, that is, suppose I'm taking this one, int a b. So assume that it is a class. I'm declaring the two data members a b. Okay. Then so in main function I'm creating the object and the class name here example obj1, and I'm creating one more obj2. Okay, I'm creating the two objects obj1 and obj2. So when you are creating the objects here, the memory will be allocated. Why? Because objects are the physical one. Okay, class is the logical one. So when you are creating the objects like this, the memory will be allocated for the object 1 separately, and the memory will be allocated for object 2 separately. And what is this obj1 consist of? The class data members. So what are the class data members? A and B. So obj1 consists of class data members A and B, and obj2 consists of class data members A and B. So like this, the memory will be allocated. Is this clear, everyone? So when you are creating the objects here, memory will be allocated separately like this for OBJ1 and OBJ2. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the OBJ1 and this is the OBJ2. And OBJ1 consists of data members of A and B. And OBJ2 also consists of data members of class here. So when you are creating a number of objects, all the objects consist of data members in a objects. Now like this, memory will be allocated for the object 1 and object 2. Now suppose I am calling the program with the read function obj1 dot read function, and I am passing the values here 2, 3. Okay. Now I am calling the read function with the parameters 2, 3, and with which object? obj1. So in that case, 2, 3 values will be assigned to which object here? obj1 values. So the 2 will be assigned to obj1 data member A, and 3 will be assigned to obj1 data member 3. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now I am calling the one more read function with object obj2 dot read function, and I am passing the parameters now 4, 5. Two values 4, 5. Now what are the values of read function now? 4, 5. And I am calling the read function with which object? obj2. Yes. So in that case, 4, 5 values will be assigned to with which object?
4 will be assigned to A and 5 will be assigned to B.
In which object?
Object 2.
Yeah, second object. So this is A equal 4 and B equal to 5. Now tell me, suppose if I am calling the obj1 dot display function, obj1 dot display, what values will be displayed?
I love India. 2,
Yes, Mohammed. When I am calling the display function with object obj1 dot display, what values will be displayed?
2 and 3.
Yeah, 2, 3 values will be displayed. Suppose if I am calling the display function with object obj2 dot display, now what values will be displayed?
4, 5.
Yes. Now is this clear now? So obj1 may or may not. So obj1, obj2 consist of same values, or in some time program, different program, obj consists of values 2 and 3, and here it is consist of 4, 5. So the data members are same, A, B only, but the values will be different here. So in that case, I need to take the display function. I need to call the function separately with the object. Is this clear?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
so this is the way the memory will be allocated. So when you are creating the object here, like this, obj consists of data members here. So I am taking the AB here. So for AB data members, the memory will be allocated for the obj1. And I am taking the obj2 also. For obj2 data members A and B, memory will be allocated. So differently, you can take the different values, or you can take the same values also, no problem. So this is the way the memory will be allocated, and you can call the member functions like this. Now I'm going to stop my presentation now with this. Now, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now come to the my program, actual program. So where we are now?
Copy constructor.
Yes, copy constructor. Now, what is the copy constructor? Means one object value will be copied into the other object. Now see here. So I am taking the value obj1, obj2. Let us take this one. I am going to delete this one. Now you can see. Now, so I am calling the obj1. So just I want to delete this read function also.
Ma'am, your screen is not visible, ma'am.
Not visible.
Yes.
Here visible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Just pin it on my name, Rajita B.
I did, ma'am. I
Once
pinned.
again, present the screen, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Wait a minute. I will share that one. Okay, before that, uh, now you can see the notepad of my mobile.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what is the copy constructor? What is the copy constructor? Now, see this one. Suppose in previous case we have different values in obj1 and obj2. Now, I want to take the obj. I want to take the obj1 value. Suppose obj a value is 10. I want to copy this obj data member a value 10 into the obj2 also. Same value. I want to copy the value. I want to copy the value. So obj2 also consists of data member a, but I want to copy the obj a value 10 into the obj2 value a. So how to copy the values here? So that is the copy constructor. So how to copy the constructor, how to copy the values here? Now see, I'm going to show one thing. Now, suppose I'm taking the creation of object in this program. So that is example, I'm creating the object obj. So in that case, the memory will be allocated for obj. I'm taking this is obj1, obj1. Assume that the data member A is in obj1. Okay. Now, in that case, suppose if I'm creating the obj2, if I'm creating the obj2, so the memory will be allocated for the obj2 and the data member in that also 8. Now we don't. Now I'm not going to assign the values here. Obj1 is consist of data member A. Obj2 is also consist of data member A. But what are the values of A and A in obj1, obj2? No, I'm not assigning any values. Suppose I want to assign the value here using constructor like this. Okay, so ex obj1 of 10. In that case, the 10 value will be assigned to. The 10 value will be assigned to which object? 10 value will be assigned to which object, ma?
OBG1 and OBJ1.
Only
A.
obj. Yes, obj1. So what is
Yes, ma'am.
obj1 consists of data member A. So this 10 value will be assigned to obj1 data member 10. Okay. Now I want to copy this 10 into the obj2. I want to copy this 10 into the obj2 A data member. So how can we write the statement? If I want to copy the 10 value into the obj2 A data member, how to write the statement? Now you can see here. So here ex obj2 within the bracket. So here previous we are passing the 10 value. Now I am passing the object here obj1. So what is the obj1 consist of?
10.
10.
Yes, 10. So this 10 value will be stored into the
OBJ2.
obj2 data member A. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but we have two different parameters here. obj1 is one object, obj2 is object. But in obj1 of 10, what is 10 here? Value.
A.
obj1 of 10 means 10 is the value and it is the integer. But you can see this one, obj2 of obj1. When I are taking the second object here, obj2 of obj1 means what is obj1 here? What is the parameter here?
A.
What is the parameter here? It is this one. What is the parameter here? Object. Here 10 is the parameter and it is the value, it is the integer type. And here the parameter is object, not the value or not the integer. It is an object. So in first case we are passing the parameter. In second case we are passing the parameter, but the parameters are different. In obj1 of 10 we are passing the 10 value. And come to the obj2 of obj1 we are passing the object. Is this clear everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we have a object here obj1 of 10 here. 10 is the integer value, it is a parameter. And obj2 of obj1 here. So it is the object is the parameter. So that is the difference between these two statements, obj1 of 10 and obj2 of obj1. Now let's go to the programming part, how to write this one. With this I will end of this one. Okay. So let's see the programming part here. I'm going to stop this after this one. Now is my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now come to the programming part. How to write the into the programming part. So just now we discussed what is a copy constructor. Now how to write the statement. Now see here. I'm taking the int a, only one data member. Then here I want to take one constructor name as example. And here I'm passing some value. I'm taking the parameter x here.
Ma'am, time up, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, ma. With this I will stop.
Lunch time.
Okay. Yeah. So here I'm taking the a equal to x. Now in main function I'm creating the object obj1 and I'm passing the parameter for the object here. Like previous example, I'm taking the 10. Now I'm taking one more object example obj2. Here I want to pass the obj1. Why? Because I want to copy the obj1 values into the obj2. So in that case, you need to pass the obj1 here. So here in this parameter type is integer. And here the parameter type is object. Is this clear, everyone? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, so if you are passing the 10 value here, so the parameter type is integer. So this 10 value will be copied into the here in this one. So what is the value of x here? What is the value of x? 10. Yes, good, Lakshmi. So what is the value of x is here? 10. That value will be assigned to data member A here. Now, when I am calling the example of obj2 of obj1, now what is the parameter type here?
Object.
Object. Parameter type is object. So when you are taking the parameter type as an object, so I am taking the one more constructor here. Why? Because in different in two statements you are passing the different values. Here you are passing the integer. In second statement you are passing the object. So I want to take the two constructors here. So here, so if I am passing the parameter value as a 10, what is the type of parameter is integer. So you are taking the formal parameter type is integer. Now I am passing the parameter in the second statement as object. What is the data type of an object? Is this clear, my statement? What is my question? So 10 is a value and the type of 10 is integer. So in that case, I want to take the formal parameter as an integer. Now, what is the second one? I am taking the parameter as obj1. What is the data type of obj?
OBJ.
So what is the data type of object? What is the data type of object? What is the data type of object? Data type of object is class. Let us take one statement here. Int x. Just I am taking the statement int x. So what is x here?
Integer.
Variable. So what is the x here? Normally it is x is a variable. And what is the type of x here?
Int.
Integer.
Int. Yeah. X is the variable and the type of x is here integer. Now I want to create the object for the class example and my object is obj. Now clearly observe these two. X is a variable and the type of x is integer. Obj is the object and the type of object is
Example.
yeah, example. Okay, is this clear everyone? X is the variable and the type of x is integer, and obj is the object and the type of object is example. That is a class name. Data type of object is class name. So in this case, I am taking the example is the class name. Suppose in different program, I am taking the stud S1. So now tell me what is the S1 here? Object. And what is the data type of S1 here?
Stud.
Yeah, S. Good. It is a stud. So what is the data type of an object? It is a class. Data type of an object is class. And data type of variable is here, x is here, integer. And data type of an object is class. Now, tell me now. We'll go to the programming part. So I'm passing the parameter here, obj or obj2 of obj1. Here I'm passing the object. So in that case, what is the parameter type? What is the parameter type here?
Class name.
Yeah, class. What is the class name?
Example.
Yeah, example. I want to take the parameter type as an example. Previous case, we are passing the x value 10 and that value will be stored into the x value here and the type of x is here integer. Now we are passing the object here. Now I want to take the formal parameter for the object, that is obj3. Is this clear everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how to assign the values? obj1 value will be assigned to obj2. Now, how to take the individual value here? Now, I am to take the value here. A equal to, so in A, data member obj to A, how to assign the value here? obj3 dot A. What is this obj3? What is this obj3? It is a formal parameter. And what is the value obj3 consists of? What is the value of obj3?
10A.
No, what is the value of x here? What is the value of x?
10.
10.
Why? Because they are passing the value here 10. Now, what is the value of obj3?
10 into obj3.
No. Listen carefully. What is the value of x here?
10.
10. Yes, good. Is this clear with that one? So 10 here passing here. So that one will be copied into the x. Now, what is the second statement? obj2 of obj1. What I am passing here?
obj1.
Now this obj1 will be copied into the formal object 3. Is this clear now?
Ma'am, once again.
Now see here. Let's see this one. obj1 of 10. So what is the parameter value here?
10.
10.
And that value will be copied into the formal parameter x now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I am taking the obj2 of obj1. What is the parameter here?
obj1.
Now this obj1 will be copied into the formal parameter, isn't it actually?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what is the formal parameter here? It is obj3.
3.
Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
No. So obj1 value will be copied into the obj3. Now how to copy the, what is obj3 and obj1 here? Both are same. Isn't it? So what is the obj1 value consists of 10 only. So obj3 also consists of 10. And that value will be assigned to data member A. So what is the statement? You need to take the statement like this. obj3, whatever the value consists of formal parameter obj3 dot A, so that value will be assigned to data member A here. So just see this statement. I'll explain this statement in the next session. And I want to take the reference variable here. Now try to compile this program with obj1 dot and obj2 dot also. I'll explain this one later.
Ma'am, time is up, ma'am.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling that. Yeah. So compile this program, run the program. So what are the values of A is 10 and A is also 10. So this first value is this belongs to obj1 and second A value is belongs to obj2. I will explain this later. Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma. Thank you. You can leave the class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.